There's more that you have to do as a parent today than ever, but you have to. It's your job. It is your job to keep your child safe, not only in the real world with seatbelts and sunscreen, but also in the virtual world.
My conversation with Titania Jordan, Chief Parent Officer of Bark Technologies, was so packed full of insights that we couldn't fit it all in one episode. So I'm sharing with you this special bonus episode of Tech Tips with Titania, where we continue our conversation on digital safety. Many parents now are familiar with Facebook, but beyond that, a surprising number of parents, I find, just in my experience, aren't aware of these things. What advice would you give parents in terms of steps they should engage in to help them help their kids and monitor that behavior online?
I'll throw out a shameless plug just for anybody who is on Facebook to join the Parenting in a Tech World Facebook group. It's a group that I started a few years ago. It now has over 200,000 parents in it, and it is where we are sharing all kinds of information. So if you want to stay in the know, that's a great place to get updates from people who are in the know and share real stories, with other parents going through the same thing. And so your children need to know that there are tricky people online that might seem like friends. But if they are asking your child a bunch of questions, that's a warning sign. There's some red flags that your children need to know to look out for those tricky people and not tell them where do they live, where do they go to school, what is their birthday, what is their real name. None of that information needs to be shared with anyone online. Then your children become almost like wannabe influencers, wannabe superstars. They want to create their own YouTube channels. They want to be on TikTok. They want to be on Instagram. They want to perform, they want to record videos, and there's so many things they want to do. And so you need to talk to them about managing a digital footprint and reputation. And, they're navigating very adult themes before their brains are fully formed. And so it is just such a hard dynamic. Then you move into social media where there's the comparison trap, the longing for acceptance through likes and comments and follows, and even inclusions in private chat groups and chat threads. And it is a whole different world. And we as adults can't even begin to understand it. Even if we're in it, it's different for them.
A lot of parents need to know that, particularly parents who may not be necessarily as tech savvy. There are controls you can put in place, correct?
Absolutely. For example, with an iPad, if you have, the Apple suite of devices, there's something called guided access. Just do a quick Google search, how to use guided access on an iPad. And it literally prevents your child from navigating out of that one app. So you could have a safe app for, let's say, a 3-year-old where they're just doing a puzzle and that's it. They can't go anywhere. They can't mess with your texts. They can't get into your email. They can't mess up settings. It's called guided access. And it's something I wish I would have known about when my son was that age. If their digital lives are consuming a great deal of their daily lives, make it part of the conversation. Hey, what was that game I saw you playing? Tell me about it. Did you achieve a cool level? Or I saw a chat thread. Anything fun happened there, or anything interesting you saw? Oh, I saw you were on YouTube today. What was the funniest thing you saw? Just asking questions. And then if you want to talk about tougher issues without directly confronting them about them, you can just say, hey, I read an article about how this 12-year-old girl, sent a nude photo to somebody who pressured her to send it online, and my heart just breaks for her. Do you know anybody that has happened to? Is that common, in your middle school? Gosh, if that ever happens to you, you can talk to me, right? You know that we can navigate anything together. You just have to talk about it in as non-threatening way as possible. What the best we can do is to keep an open dialogue with them, have open and honest communication with them, open door all the time. Try to maintain your sense of freaking out internally, right? Because the second you freak out is the second they're not going to come to you with anything ever again. And try to ride beside them. Have them teach you how. If they want Snapchat and you don't even have Snapchat, make sure you have it, you download it first, and you see what all it can present to a child. You cannot hand your child a device and sit back and think, whew, now I can finally get some stuff done. You have got to know what they're doing on those devices. And if you don't have the time to sit and hover and helicopter for every minute they're on it, because who does? I don't. You need to set up parental controls. So whether it's an Android device, an iOS device, a gaming console, whatever it is, Google the parental controls that exist for that device, even for, your smart television or your smart speaker. There are parental controls that are free. There's more that you have to do as a parent today than ever, but you have to. It's your job. It is your job to keep your child safe, not only in the real world with seatbelts and sunscreen, but also in the virtual world.
Thanks for listening to What I Want to Know. Be sure to follow and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app so you can explore other episodes and dive into our discussions on the future of education. And write a review of the show. I also encourage you to join the conversation and let me know what you want to know using hashtag WIWTK on social media. That's hashtag WIWTK. For more information on Stride and online education, visit stridelearning.com. I'm your host, Kevin P. Chavis. Thank you for joining What I Want to Know.